Rosie, just getting your remarks, your quick remarks here on Matthew Knies, his NHL debut, and John Tavares winning it. The outcome really wasn't a big story, but certainly we were waiting to see what Matthew Knies did in his debut.
Yeah, a lot of attention towards the kid. I was excited to get him in there. And, you know, expectations can't be on the first game. I think, you have to temper expectations, but at the same time, he's a very good player, and there are some expectations that he can be a factor, certainly in the future, whether that's soon or not yet to be seen. But it was nice to see him out there, and man, he can handle that puck down low. He can handle it along the boards. He's a body that can't get pushed off the puck, and he had some really good shifts. He easily could have been on the score sheet, easily. But there was one bad shift there where he had a bunch of turnovers. I like the confidence where he's still like, between the legs passes and stuff when it's necessary. When he's handcuffed, he can still figure out where that guy is. But the NHL the biggest thing is the transition is much quicker. The turnovers are much more devastating towards you, and the support on the other team is just constant. You don't have breakdowns that you can take advantage of like you can probably in the NCAA. And I think that's a little bit of a learning curve, but if he gets the nerves shaken out of him and goes in there, and if he accepts the fact that we need a power forward, we don't need him to take Austin Matthews' job right now. Maybe that'll happen in 6 years down the road. Who knows? But right now, we need you to be a power forward. We need you to get the puck down low and work it. We need you to finish every bloody check. You can't swoop by a single guy, especially in the playoffs. And, hopefully he understands that and can actually be an asset. But, I take it as a positive that he looked like he belonged out there for sure.
I thought it was a good game. I thought it was a real simulation of playoff hockey, which I think is great for a player this time year, coming, of course, from the NCAA. So that was great. I thought he got into the dirty areas, evasive, doesn't shy away from contact. He's skilled. I think obviously there's a really, really good opportunity, Rosie. I think ultimately what will happen to start, he'll be on the outside looking in game one of the Stanley Cup playoffs with the ability to potentially move in that lineup, whether it be an injury or a player's not playing well. Is that the way you see it as well?
Yeah, potentially. I haven't gone in there. It's such a clusterfuck right now, trying to figure out this whole lineup and who's even there and available and where Simmer is and this and that. And we'll see. I got to get down to it and crunch the numbers, which I think I'll do after the season, and just try to figure out exactly what I think that lineup will be. But more than likely outside looking in. It's just tough because if he comes in and understands like what they need his role to be, I think he could easily be the best player to be in the lineup. But time is of a factor, and there's other guys like Zach Aston Reese and guys that have really stepped up as of late, where it makes it even more difficult, because if someone's just slugging along, done nothing in months, it'd be easy to punt them out and put them in. But it doesn't really look like that on the roster right now. So we'll see what happens. Good chance he'll be in there, but I really feel like he could be a nice little addition. He's not a savior. He's not going to be the difference in games necessarily, but a guy like him could go in if you understand what we need your role to be with his skill and ability. He could be a nice asset on that, bottom six, but it's yet to be seen. I didn't like how he wasn't really finishing the body last night, and I think that's maybe he'll change his attitude when he gets into the playoffs. And I mean, what the first round of playoffs is like. It's just that puck drops and guys are just banging and crashing. And if he can get involved in that and understand what the Leafs need out of him, I think that he could be an asset, but we'll see if he gets in or not.
I like the fact that they utilized him in different spots in the lineup. I know he played predominantly on that third line, but we saw him at bits and pieces with guys, the playmakers, the money makers, if you will, the Matthews of the world, the JTs, the Marners. Like, they got a legitimate look. And again, against a desperate opponent in Florida who had a lot to play for, I actually appreciated a debut more against a team like that than more that they'll see against a team like Tampa or even the New York Rangers, teams who know they're in, who know they're going to the Stanley Cup playoffs. A bit of a different feel. So he got as close to a feel as a Stanley Cup playoff game as you can get. And that's another positive to grab.
Yeah, for sure. It wasn't a throwaway game. It's nice to play teams that are playing for something, especially in that situation, like you say, where he gets involved and can feel what it's like to be a more intense game. And I mean, he's played a lot of intense hockey. I mean, that Frozen Four, those guys are going hard. I know it's not the NHL, but he's played in the Olympics. He's played in, his resume is quite long as far as important and intense hockey that he's played, which is only going to serve him well. But again, it remains to be seen if there's a spot in this roster for him. But I mean, down the road, I think he's going to be one of the big fellas. He's going to be a top 6 forward. And I mean, I don't think his game is Austin Matthews. I think it's, I don't know, maybe more Ryan O'Reilly, or it's tough to say, but he's a big power forward, big down low with the net, can keep the puck down low and find the space and make the plays. And I'd like to see him bang and crash a little bit more. I think he should have been. I mean, I doubt he needed to do any of that in college, but it'd be nice if he understood what needs to happen in the playoffs, especially for this roster, and to bring a little bit of that physicality in would be ideal for me personally.